Oh, g'day, mate. This is a story about a dentist who was killed, but he only was killed because he thinks he has found a way to bring a dentist where you can go up in space, like in your sleep, and your teeth can be healed straight away. Well, anyway, let's have a listen. It's called the Sleeping Teeth Therapist. Brains Jameson was a dentist who was killed in a car accident in 1987. And mind you, he had a very good imagination. You see, he hated to go to the dentist because he was poor, too poor to have major work done. And he did a course in dentistry, which, which he did pass. And after 5 years of looking for a dentist's job, he almost gave up. And I say because on this way to, to another job as a dentist, he was killed in a car accident. And his life was over until now. You see, Brains and his old girlfriend, who has just got a job as a dentist in downtown Canberra, and she wanted to keep this job. And Brains saw this as an opportunity to bring reincarnation to the next level. You see, Brains decided to go into his girlfriend's mind and try to get his girlfriend to go into business with him. And at first, his girl, who was Rosalind Matheson, said that going into partnership with a dead man is the worst decision, is the worst business decision that she could ever think of in the whole world. The only thing is, Brains knew he was dead, but he knew also that he can use some death power to make these kind of things work. But still, Rosalind, who hated the idea, the whole thought of about losing her practice, but being noble with her heart set on just being just a dream. And Brains asked Brains how. Brains said that I can make a pill that you give patients that really can afford to make you can, for people who can't afford to pay a big bill. And that pill will be on prescription. And when you take it, and as soon as it is taken, he will fall asleep, and he or she will be lifted up, and I will operate on their teeth in the big dentist up in the sky, and I will only take the poorer ones because I ain't gonna need a profit up here. Rosalind said to Brains, sure, why not? And then woke up thinking that her head must be really knocked up to have this crazy harebrained scheme coming up. But what Rosalind didn't know was that Brains has found a way to get his plan to work, you see, because he is now dead. He can release his spirit and make businessmen make silly decisions, like suddenly inventing a pill that did the work of dentistry without seeing one. And it doesn't take the pain away. It actually does what it does in Rosalind's dreams. And Rosalind said to her boss, this is the shonky work of Brains Jameson. There is no way this pill will fix your teeth. And besides, if we give patients the easy answers, they won't pay the bill. And the boss, who was under the influence of Brains Matheson, said, no, Roz, it's only the poor that will try this. Normally, poor people want easy answers anyway. And besides, it had been proven by the dental board because they tried this on rats and with tooth decay. And Roz, they haven't got any signs of tooth decay. It's like someone is running a cheap dentist in another world or realm. And Roz said, don't even joke about it. But she had no choice but to accept it, and the first patient to get the pill was poor Dessa, who was poor with no job. and went to see Roz, who said, "You need to have root canal therapy." And she discussed the pill option with him. And if the pill doesn't work, she'll fit the bill. And Phil really hated the dentist so much. The pill was cool, so he tried. And read the pack, and he needs to sleep straight through this to work. And when he was asleep, Phil was lifted up and brains worked on his root canal. And he seemed to know exactly what he was doing. And the next morning, Phil woke up and, hey, presto! The pain was gone. And he said he went to the dentist, and Roz looked at it, and the root canal was gone. And Phil was on his way to recommend the pill to all his friends. Yes, this was a cheap way to have work done without surgery. And then George Burnsley came to see Roz and complained about the price of the dentist, and it really shouldn't cost that much. And after arguing the point day in and day out, Roz eventually tried the pill on him to put a filling in his teeth. And yes, he took the pill, and again brains brings him up, and hey, presto! He worked on him, giving him that filling. And when he woke up the next morning, he felt like a new man, and saw Roz again, and again she noticed it was gone. And Roz went home and tried to argue with Brains spiritually, and Brains said, thanks. I always had a dream to make a dentist cheaper than you saw yourself. That I get rid of their problems. You see, I want to be greedy and have anybody, but you need to be busy. So I will take the low income people from you. And Roz agreed at the moment, while the poor are happy with the whole thing. Anyway, I would love a pill to be able to get rid of anything that make the dentist cheap for everyone. You know, everyone's got poor. I'm sort of struggling a bit with the parents' love and all that, but I still think that you have actually, you do sort of need a way to get cheaper dentistry, and you should shop around sometimes. Okay, see you, dudes.